Welcome to Sunshine on the Menu, our first ever virtual luncheon. I'm Kim Scherger, Executive Director of the Manitoba Camping Association. Today, I get to be your host. We are thrilled to have you join us to celebrate the Sunshine Fund, the MCA, our donors and guests. This would have been our fourth annual in-person luncheon, but instead, we get to do this a little differently. We thank you for supporting the Sunshine Fund in the past and helping us send kids from economically disadvantaged families to a week of summer camp. For those new to the Sunshine Fund, we're going to share stories, songs, and information about the fund and how amazing camp is and has been in people's lives. Camp makes a difference. First, let's get you seated at your table. Your server will be right with you. Now sit back and enjoy.
Good afternoon and welcome to Sunshine on the Menu. I'm your server today. My name is Rick. Our chefs have prepared a fantastic bounty of items for you to sample. I hope you enjoyed your hors d'oeuvres that were passed while you waited. And up next, I'll be bringing out your charcuterie board. Let's hear from Paul Samin, the editor at the Winnipeg Free Press. Here's your menus. I'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Paul Samin. I'm the editor of the Winnipeg Free Press. My resume shows I worked at the Free Press for a number of years, but my resume also shows something else, that I was a camp counselor at Camp When I Come Back. That's pretty much the only other job I had other than working at the Free Press. And if you go back a little further, you'll find out that I was a camper at Camp When I Come Back. And if you go back a little further, you find out that actually I was grew up over the summers at a summer camp. Because my mom was the longtime nurse at Wanna Come Back, and my first summer there was when I was age 2. So I've been very fortunate to really come of age at a summer camp. And because of that, I think I can really understand and appreciate the importance of the Sunshine Fund because of the experiences that I had. I wouldn't be who I was. I don't think I'd necessarily have this job if it wasn't for what I learned at camp and those experiences and the opportunities and the fun and the learning and the growing and the kind of things that you need as a kid and the kind of things that help you out as you move through your schooling and into your career. That's why in my time at the Free Press, I've been very fortunate to help move the Sunshine forward and to ensure that it continues to be a source of funding and an opportunity for our readers to dig deep into their pockets as they do year after year after year, so that kids who really deserve a chance at camp, like I and so many other Manitobans have, can get that opportunity and that it can be affordable. So from my standpoint as someone who's benefited from camp, those experiences are truly important in one's development, and that's why the Sunshine Fund is so important, and why the Free Press and our newsroom have always looked for opportunities to tell the stories of the Sunshine Fund and to ensure that readers continue to understand its value and its import. Here's to summer camps, here's to those at Camp When I Come Back, and here's to camps everywhere. You do good work. Your work is important, and that's why the work of the Sunshine Fund is more important now than ever before.
I hope you enjoyed your charcuterie. Paul Samin from the Winnipeg Free Press, always fantastic and a great story. Next up, some music, including some mint-infused water. Here's Karen Hammerstrand and Stuart McEwen to entertain us.
Hi, my name is Karen Hammerstrand, and along with my good friend Stuart McEwen accompanying me, and my husband Doug Petrick behind the camera, we are going to be singing you some songs to get you in the mood for summer and for camping. So the first two you'll know, and the last one is one of mine. We're doing this outside because regulations say we must. So here we are outside, and we're hoping no sirens will come by. So with no further ado, we'll start with our first song, Wonderful World. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Color of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, and I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Music provided by the fantastic Karen Hammerstrand and Stuart McEwen. Next up on our menu, our chefs have prepared a fantastic bisque for you to sample. This took a whole day to prepare for you. Let's take a look at Andrew Micklefield, the MLA from Rossmere, and his incredible story for you today.
For over a century, Manitoba's camps have been places where families, young people and children can return each summer to build memories and friendships that last a lifetime. places where people can return to enjoy Manitoba's great outdoors, to rekindle those old friendships and perhaps celebrate and participate in their faith traditions or practices. Last year was one of the most challenging summers on record for Manitoba's camps, and this summer we don't yet know quite what it will look like. That's why we do need to stand with and support Manitoba's overnight camps and outdoor camps. I'm doing everything in my power to make sure those camps are in the conversation and looked after, and I want to encourage you to be generous and to assist with making sure that the Sunshine Fund and Manitoba's camps that you're connected with are looked after. The Sunshine Fund has been helping children who cannot afford camp go to camp for now over 40 years. Please be generous, please help. We want to make sure the legacy of Manitoba's camps endures for many more generations to come. Thanks for watching.
After a fine bisque like that, you need a palate cleanser to get you ready for the next course. Our chefs have prepared this amazing avocado sorbet for you to sample. I hope you enjoy it.
I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Oh yes, I can make it now. The pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is that rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Look all around, there's nothing but blue skies. And look straight ahead, there's nothing but blue skies. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day.
Hoping you're enjoying your fine meal so far this afternoon. It's time for some bread with some garlic butter. Up next is Andrew Sevigny, our Vice Chair of the MCA, also the Director at Dauphin Bible Camp.
Hi there, my name is Andrew Sevigny and I'm the Executive Director here at Dauphin Bible Camp. I have the privilege to live right here at the camp with my wife and my daughter. My wife is actually our Horsemanship Director here at the camp, and our horse program is something that really draws campers to our camp. I've been fortunate enough to work at many different camps across the province, and this will be my 20th summer working at camp, plus my time as a camper. Growing up, it began attending camp as a preteen and have never missed a summer since. Camp is important to me because, as I mentioned, I started young and I've never missed a summer. Why? Because I found my purpose at camp. Camp is a place that I felt accepted as a teenager. Camp was a safe place to be, where I got to have a ton of fun and meet new friends. I look back at my high school days and I don't really connect with those people anymore, but I look back at my first years as being a summer team member at camp, and man, do I get super excited to see those people again. Why? Because they were a part of helping me develop to who I am today. I had some really rough points in my teenage years, but my fellow camp staff were always there to encourage me, to lift me up, to walk with me. I could count on them to just listen when I needed to talk. Camp has given me an opportunity to not just be poured into, but to pour into others' lives, to be that encouragement to others, just like others were an encouragement to me, to get to walk alongside others when they're having a tough day. Camp is a place where a person can be real. And I find it a privilege not just to be the executive director here at Dauphin Bible Camp and to lead an amazing team, but I've also had the privilege over the last few years to be on the board of the Manitoba Camping Association, and I currently sit as the vice president of the association. And this gives me an opportunity to help make sure kids just like myself have the best camp experience possible all across this province.
Wow, you sure took a big chunk out of that bread. I hope you saved some room for salad. Up next, Raquel Dancho, MP for Kildonan and St. Paul, regales us with her childhood memories of going to camp and how it influenced her journey towards politics.
Hi there, this is Raquel Dancho, Member of Parliament for Kildonan and St. Paul here in the northern suburbs of Winnipeg. I'm very happy to be joining MCA for your virtual luncheon. And when Kim, your executive director, asked me, I just had a flood of memories of all the benefits and happy times that I had as a child for 8 years when I went to kids camp. And in fact, I met Kim about 22 years ago when I was about 8 or 9 years old, and I first went to Luther Village, which is in northwestern Ontario near Kenora, and is actually part of the MCA. And I just remember her vividly being this positive life force of love and encouragement. And she really had a positive impact on me as a child. And I just thank you so much, Kim, for what you do for kids and for kids camps. It's so appreciated. And so when she asked me to do this, I thought, well, absolutely, I'd love to contribute something back because camp gave me so much as a child. It taught me really independence. You know, when you're young and you get on that bus and you get shipped off to camp, or your mom and dad drop you off for a couple of days and you're kind of all alone, and then you meet friends and you meet your great camp counselors and you're just activities all day, every day. You learn that independence that's so valuable later in life. And you also learn resilience. You know, you're going hiking, you're going canoeing, you're doing archery, you're doing kids crafts and activities and games. You might fall down and skin your knee. Well, mom and dads aren't around. So you got to get back up, dust yourself off, and get back playing with everybody else. And so that independence, that resilience really helped me as a kid. And after that first time at camp, I was hooked. I counted down the days for 8 years that I would go to camp. And I was always so sad getting home at the end thinking I'd have to wait 12 more months to go again. And some of my best memories of childhood are when I went to camp. And I just, I'm so grateful that that my parents were able to send me to camp. But we know that there are so many children, those who could really use those crucial character development in those early years, that may not have the means to go to kids camp, whether they're from the inner city or low income households. And that's why I'm so appreciative of the contributors to Manitoba camps, to the MCA camps, because it really can be life-changing for children, that camp experience. You get to appreciate the environment. You're in the environment. You're learning about the environment. You're learning to respect the environment. That was huge when I went to camp, that respect for the environment that stuck with me throughout my entire life. and you burn energy. A lot of kids have so much energy, they're stuck indoors, especially COVID times. And so getting to burn energy, literally run around, swim, do all the activities is so healthy and important, particularly in these challenging times. And we know that kids camps have been incredibly financially challenged because of the restrictions and the lockdowns to deal with this health crisis. And so I think about that, and I'm so grateful for all Manitobans that support our kids camps and ensure that all children have the opportunities that I did. And those skills I developed were critical. I do believe the resilience and the independence that I learned in kids camp helped me really become a member of parliament at 29 years old. Those are the kind of skills you need that will take children very far in life. And so whatever you can give, whatever time you can contribute as well, we know volunteering is incredibly important, is critical, particularly this year. So thank you so much to the MCA and to everyone who ensures that all children have opportunities to go to camp. Thanks so much.
I'll have my assistant bring out your appetizers shortly. Until then, let's hear from Emma Clooney, who's a mom of a Sunshine Fund recipient.
For my kids, camp was something that was always something I talked about from my childhood, and it was one of like the fondest memories, like all the best. I think if you were to summate the best parts of childhood, they happen at camp. And so when I talked to my kids about, do you want to try camp for the first time? They were a little reluctant and a little bit scared. And it only takes one summer, 1 week to get hooked. And my daughter talks about all of the adventures that she's had and all the skills that she's built, and not the things you're thinking of like, oh, well, we learned how to make fires, and they did. And we learned how to make s'mores, and they did. And, we're not as scared of bugs anymore. But things that my daughter came home with from camp, in addition to new friendships and a strong appreciation for the outdoors, she also came home with a new belief in her own abilities. And every year that she's gone to camp since, she's built on the things that she's capable of. And that she, even now with the pandemic, talks actively about can't wait to get back to the outdoors and to camp. They come back with sort of a different sense of community. I feel like there's a reacclimation process that happens when they come home. But I found for my daughter, she started going when she was probably 8 or 9, and she came home more capable. She started doing more things just to work with all of us at home. Things like she was setting the table and she was clearing up, and she just had sort of a better sense of her own space that wore off quickly. So I feel like camp is like a necessary reapplication every year. But I think the thing that was really the most impactful about her time at camp was she had an opportunity through one of our camps to go out on a fairly lengthy canoe trip. And on that canoe trip, she really got to work with her peers, even kids she didn't know, to get through some really struggling water conditions. So there was a lot of waves and a lot of wind, and the kids had to work super hard. And she, normally a fairly laid back youngest child kind of kid, found herself leading the pack to go out and help bring other campers who were struggling with the waves to bring them to shore, and using her problem solving skills to hook up a rope to canoes and, inspiring her teammates to keep going. And she still talks about that one fondly, although it sort of sounds a bit like a camp disaster, but I feel like all the best stories are. So getting to see that part of her personality and see how much she believed in her own capabilities, even when she maybe initially wouldn't have, was one of those pivotal things where you realize that your kids really are growing when they're away from you. It's not just a place they're going to have fun, but they're really changing who they are while they're there. We're talking about doing a family canoe trip. We recognize that all of our worlds got a lot smaller, but in a lot of ways that made them a lot bigger. And it's giving us an opportunity to take teenagers, that much I now have, out and let them share some of the skills that they have in order for us to enjoy ourselves as a family. So we're talking about doing some very simplified canoe trips because I don't want to end up in a lake. And let the kids show us some of the things that they know how to do, and maybe do an overnight trip onto one of the islands, either in the White Shell of Manitoba or just out into Ontario, depending on what's allowed. And then, yeah, just trying to make the best of it and keeping our fingers crossed that we are able to rejoin the kids safely at camp before they are all aged out and have to be camp counselors. So that is the dream right now. Fingers crossed. My love of the outdoors and canoeing, and that came from going to camp in the White Shell. And I really wondered if my super indoorsy iPhone connected children were going to find that same appreciation. But it is really amazing that they can still find like true childhood in a place where there is no cell reception, and there's I just can't offer them that here at home as much as we'd like to. So I am eternally grateful that the Sunshine Fund has allowed us to provide that opportunity to my kids, and it's been pivotal for their childhood and also for going forward, for their appreciation for all things outdoors.
We're going to do a song that I wrote a while ago called Beach Wedding Song. It goes like this. I don't need a cathedral so grand. I just need to feel the sand between my toes. Honey, here goes. Don't want limousine, 'cause I don't need to be seen in a fancy car that won't take us far. You're the other half of my whole, and you're a part of my soul. I don't want a big brass band, just want to hold your hand when we say I do to me and you. Afterwards, the stars in the sky will match the stars in our eyes as we're dancing slow. Honey, here goes. You're the other half of my whole, and you're a part of my soul. And on this forever day, I wanted to say that I don't need a cathedral so grand, just need to feel the sand between my toes. Honey, here goes. Do, 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 do. Honey, here goes.
Thank you so much for your patience. Good food does take time to prepare. Up next is our entree. It'll be out shortly. Let's listen to Dale Weeb, Executive Director at Winkler Bible Camp. This story will take you places you've never been before.
Hello everyone, my name is Dale Weeb, and my wife Candace and I are the directors here at Winkler Bible Camp. We've been part of this camp for almost 20 years now, and the whole time that we've been at camp, we have seen children come to our camp from all over Manitoba because of the Sunshine Fund. And because of that history, I've been asked to talk a little bit about camp. I don't think the experience of camp can ever be overstated, at least not for older people like me. You see, the older we are, the more time we have to look back and reflect on the things that happened in our life and how they impacted some of the choices and the decisions we made as we became adults. Some people think that a week of camp is small and somewhat insignificant, but it's not. It's not, because children remember things. They remember all sorts of things. I know that because I remember it. And these experiences that we have as children can show up and manifest themselves in the strangest places when we become adults. I had one of those experiences back in September of 2001. I was working with the Mennonite disaster team, and we were rebuilding houses in central El Salvador. And I was in a little village, in a remote little village, and we were digging up footing, and I was moving stones, and I was getting it ready to pour some concrete when a snake came up out right by my feet. Well, you'd think that the right thing to do would be just to stand still, freeze, or jump out of the way or something, but not me. Instantly, when I saw that snake, and he's slithering by my feet, I took the flat of my spade and gently put it on the back of his head, and with my other hand, I picked it up because I was so excited about this thing. This was colorful, about 3 feet long and about 1 inch thick. And so I carried it out of my little work site there with a big smile. And I wanted to show it to the lady whose house we were building. Well, when the lady saw it, her eyes popped open and she started yelling at me in Spanish and waving her arms and flailing her hands and then pointing at the machete over at the wall. Well, later on that night, I did find out exactly how poisonous that snake was, and the locals did advise me that I just shouldn't do that again, ever at all. One of them said to me, as they were joking, they said, "You know what, the snake didn't hurt you, but your wife is going to when she finds out what you did." Well, after all of the laughing and the talking, one of the things that ended up showing up that evening over and over again was this one question. And the question was this: "Dale, why did you pick up a poisonous snake?" And the crazy thing is that I knew exactly why I picked up that snake. You see, it was all about Marlin Perkins. Now, I know that if you aren't over 55, you don't know what I'm talking about. But for those of you who are older, know who I'm talking about. You see, Marlin was the star of the show Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom. And I watched that on Saturday evenings just before hockey time. And those shows were great because he would grab snakes and crocodiles and lizards and all sorts of animals. And I loved watching it. And more than that, I remembered it. I remembered those things and how he did those things. And so you need to know here that I don't like snakes. I don't want a snake as a pet. They scare me. So what I did that day, that very instinctive thing in that moment, was something that came back from an experience that I had as a child. Because all I can remember is when I saw that snake come out of the ground and slide past me, I thought, this is what Marlin would do. My buddy Marlin. Well, I won't bore you with the details of how this story could have gone wrong for me, but I think the point is made. There are so many things that we do as mature adults, sometimes good things and sometimes bad things, that correlate directly back to our childhood and the experiences we had as kids. And that's why we do camp. At camp, we know that what children learn when they're young will impact what they do as they grow up. At camp, we create experiences for children to help that make good life choices as they mature into adulthood. At camp, we want children to grow up and respect other people. We want them to learn new things, be creative, be bold, and be confident. We want them to grow up and have strong, healthy relationships. We want them to become individuals that grow up and contribute to the well-being of our society. And camp is a safe place where we can make those things happen. But there's another group that's directly impacted to summer camp, and that's the teens and the young adults that work at camp and run camp. Well, I'm the director, but that's only at an organizational level. It's the teens and the young adults that end up being the hands and feet of camp, and they're the ones that actually make camp happen. And at camp, they learn to lead, they learn to serve, they learn to work, and at camp, they learn that they are not the only other human beings on this planet, and that there are other people that may sometimes need their help. At camp, they learn to become influencers, and they're good at it. After all, they were little campers themselves just a few years ago. Summer camp is a place where these two groups of people merge, and when done well, leave a legacy of positive experiences that go on to help these young adults make good life choices. So supporting, or better said, investing in organizations that carry these same kinds of goals and values is a good thing. This is not some sort of short-term investment, but it is an investment in our future. So thank you for supporting the Sunshine Fund and investing in our future. And I hope that someday you see the fruits of our labors. And I didn't quite finish the snake story. So after I went back and we took care of poisonous snake number 1, and I went back to clearing the rubble, another snake came out. Same color, same kind. And guess what I did? I ended up doing the same thing because I had to show everybody. And I guess I'll just never forget Marlon Perkins.
Coming up to the end of your meal, I hope you've enjoyed it so far. Up next, your dessert, Apples Thorstensen. Let's take a listen to Leah Thorstensen tell us about her days at camp.
Hello everyone, my name is Leah Thorstensen. I'd like to start by saying thank you so much for having me as a guest speaker today, and I'm super thrilled to be talking about why camp is important to me. My first time going to Camp Stevens was when I was 11 years old, and I participated in what's called In Camp. In Camp is the program where kids typically spend 1 to 2 weeks on Camps Island, located in Lake of the Woods. Each day is organized with different activities such as canoeing, kayaking, rock climbing, swimming, and many things that you can do with your cabin or individually. The second option camp has is the wilderness canoe trip options. I started doing this program in 2018 with a 3-week canoe trip, following with the 4-week. Going to camp in the summer has always been one of the best parts of my year. It's always been a place where I can unplug and truly get to know the people around me. And I've been very lucky to have met such great people. I've found that everyone I've gone to camp with has a good time, especially on my canoe trips, because teamwork is really necessary and important, which helps promote a friendly and inclusive environment. Canoeing especially has always been important to me because it's not very often that I get to go canoeing due to the weather here in Winnipeg. And it's super nice being out in the wilderness with people who are passionate about canoeing and portaging as much as I am. My favorite part of going to camp is shooting whitewater sets and finishing a long portage. When you're on trail, you don't usually see many people because you're in very remote areas. So the weeks that I am on trail, my camp friends become my family. Last January, I got accepted to do the 6-week canoe trip, and this was really exciting for me because this has been my goal for several years. However, unfortunately, due to COVID-19, camps in Ontario were canceled along with my 6-week canoe trip. So I really hope that this summer I'm able to go. I remember there was this one time I was filling my water bottle on the 4-week in this giant waterfall, and me being me, I got distracted by this frog that was sitting nearby. So I put my water bottle down and I got the frog to show everyone, but then I realized that my water bottle fell into the waterfall. So I had to run to the other side of the island, try to catch it, but unfortunately I didn't. So then I had to swim for my water bottle, and I think everyone got a really good laugh out of that. Thank you so much again for having me as a guest speaker today and listening to my story.
Can't have a fantastic dessert without a cup of coffee. I've got decaf and tea if you'd rather, let me know. Here's Dana Moroz, the Sunshine Fund Program Manager, to talk about the Sunshine Fund.
Good afternoon. My name is Dana Moroz and I am the Sunshine Fund Program Manager. As you all know, the Sunshine Fund program subsidizes summer camp fees for children who are from low-income families. Sunshine Fund parents simply cannot afford to pay for summer camp, and this is where we come in. Summer camp is so important to children because for many, it's their first time to experience that sense of belonging and that sense of community. Many children have never participated in rock climbing, archery, or horseback riding due to family financial restraints. And at summer camp, kids have the opportunity to experience all these activities and more. Camp is a place where children discover who they are, gain self-esteem and self-confidence, and can just let go and be themselves. We believe and know that summer camp benefits children and their well-being. Camp is far more than a week away from home. An outdoor summer camp experience can change a child's perspective and open their eyes to new possibilities. On behalf of the Sunshine Fund parents and their children, thank you for continued support and thank you for making a difference in a child's life.
I'd like to thank you so much for dining with us today here at Sunshine on the Menu. It's been my pleasure serving you, and I do hope you return again someday. Here's a mint for you to take on the road with you, and your check. I accept credit cards right here at the table. Kim Scherger, Executive Director at MCA, will take you home.
This brings us to the end of our luncheon. I hope you have enjoyed your hour celebrating the Sunshine Fund and the power of camp with us. If you would like to help us send kids to camp, you can donate to the Sunshine Fund now or later on our website at mbcamping.ca. Or you can call in with a credit card to 204-784-1130. Or you can mail or drop off a check to our office on Henderson Highway. All those details are on our website. Many thanks to those who brought us messages today: Raquel, the Andrews, Leah, Paul, Emma, Dale, and Dana. And to Karen and Stuart for the special music provided. Thanks also to Rick, our marketing and communications guru, for recording and producing the video, and for being your server today. Thanks to Boston Pizza for meal coupons and to Recycle Everywhere for the collapsible recycling bags. If you don't have yours yet, call or email the office to arrange curbside pickup. Again, thank you for supporting the Sunshine Fund and accredited camps for Manitoba children. Have a fabulous day. Don't forget your leftovers.